Okay, let's do this cat's nose. So I'm going to start with sepia, dark sepia Polychromos. I do not have my kneaded eraser, but I'm going to erase a little bit of these lines first. Okay. So I want to try and get the shape of the nose before I put that pink in there. So I'm just going light pressure. Gonna outline the nose. Try and get the shape right. I find that cat noses are kind of like the cat irises for me. They're just harder than they look to capture. And I'm kind of doing a hair motion at the very top of it because you can see in the reference photo that there's the little hairs, especially right here. Sketching the shape of the nose. It's got that little line up the middle. I did not bring my kneaded eraser or my new sharpener over here, so I'm going to use this sharpener, which is, it's kind of dull. So some people like the desk sharpeners. I prefer the handheld ones. So this one is a good one. It creates a long sharp point, so it has two parts where you sharpen it. Number one makes it longer, number two makes the point sharper. So it's a little bit longer than my other one. Usually I like the Prismacolor, just handheld pencil sharpener, and I got a new one, I don't know, for $6, and I was very happy with it, but it's on the other side of the room. So this is a good one. It's K-U-M, I think it's German. These are pretty cheap too. You can get them online or Hobby Lobby. And I actually had my husband trade out, I bought new blades for it because I was trying not to be wasteful with throwing out the pencil sharpener, but to be honest, I didn't tell him this because he kind of went through a lot of effort to do it. But it doesn't work that well. I'm not sure why, because they're new blades. Okay, so I'm going to put this in too, just this little space over here. And there's some little hairs going this way too. Just being really light so that way if I mess up, I can still erase at least a little bit. This is pretty dark in here. But I'm gonna draw, instead of just kind of coloring it in the direction of the fur that's underneath the nose. So if you do that, it kind of helps you build up texture to make it look more like realistic fur. We can always go back over it later. Okay. So that's okay. I'm not sure that my shape is perfect, but we can refine. Might go up a little bit, just real light here on the top part of the nose. And on this part, it's got kind of some orangey hairs there on his nose. Maybe cinnamon, brown ochre. Okay, so for the nose itself, I think we'll just do cinnamon. Define my cinnamon. Actually, I think I'm going to do flesh. Oh, they don't call it that anymore. Beige root first. I gotta sharpen it, and I'm not sure why I put my pencil sharpener back. I like to start out with the lighter colors, and then it's a lot easier to add darker colors on top than to subtract if you go too dark. So I'm just going to use kind of a circular motion with this beige red. I'm going to fill in all of it. I don't know if you can hear my dog licking himself. I apologize if you can. He's like a cat. He does that all of the time. So if I zoom into the nose, there's actually a bunch of little dots, little white dots. Showing the texture. I have to fix this a little bit. I see where I am. It's not square enough. It's kind of got an angle. Maybe like that. My other dog is outside, and it's really warm out, so I keep checking on her to see if she wants to come in, but she is an outside pig. Just loves to be out there. We got a fence, which is great, just recently, last fall. So she can just be out there. Okay. Just looking at the reference photo, so I'm gonna grab a warm gray one. Okay, I'm changing my mind on that. So I did not capture these little white dots because I didn't zoom in, so I'm sorry. I'm just gonna try and lighten this a little bit. I'm using my Tombow Mono eraser. Not trying to get rid of all of the color. I didn't really erase that well, actually. I'm gonna see, okay, I have a Caran d'Ache Luminance white. I'm gonna see if I can put some little circles in here, if that will work. I'm not seeing them, but I'm working with a wax pencil. So I'm just hoping that a little bit of that texture will show as I put more layers on. I don't know if it will. We can also do little circles with the darker cinnamon. Either way, the circles are really small. Okay, so let's see what we can do with cinnamon. This is one of my favorite colors. Especially if you mix it with warm gray. All right, so I'm gonna try and just make some circles and see how that does. Real light. Just to give a little texture on this nose. Tiny circles. I'm going to take it over the whole nose except for maybe where it looks really light. So maybe I'll leave this top bit with just the beige root or whatever they call it. So usually when I do dogs on dog noses, I kind of use a circular motion like this too. Okay. Let's see if we can get some Polychromos white in here. I'm just circling again. Light. Okay, building. So this dark area, thinking either, let's try Indian red. I put all my pencils away. I'm sorry, that's why it's taking me forever. Okay. I can't find them when they're put in their proper place. Sharpen a little bit. It's kind of an orangey, brownish red. So I'm gonna go real light with it in this crease. Maybe some Venetian red, which is kind of a pink red, just to put some more color on this nose. So up here, I'm going to do that. So this might be where the grain of the paper showing through is not a bad thing. So sometimes you can use it to your advantage. Okay. Maybe some raw umber. I think I have that over here. On this side, it's a little bit more brown. See some maybe right here too. I'm going to grab the cinnamon again and kind of make this, whatever it was I used, Venetian red, blend in a little bit better. And I'm going to darken this area. You can use the grays, the light grays, to kind of take a color back a little bit. So I'm going to do that here in a second too. All right, I'm looking for nougat. I'm not sure if that's how you pronounce it, but that's how I say it. I'm going to use that for these kind of top shadows. It's a little bit of a yellowy brown, and at first I didn't like it, but now I use it all the time. I might use it to mimic some circles in here. I think that does better than the beaster that I put up top here. That's a little bit too yellow, the beaster. So I'm trying to make some circles or half circles with the nougat, kind of for the shadows, for the texture we have going on here. All right, let's knock this thing back with some warm gray. I'm thinking of 2. Warm gray 2. Maybe a 2 on the bottom and a 1 up top. I need more depth right here. I can also add, if we add black around it, it's going to help us to see what we need to do better too. Better sharpen it. I'm zoomed in on it with my iPad and I can see some real distinct black lines coming out of the nose. I'm trying to get those in. I increased my pressure there. To do the lines, it kind of takes the hairs, it kind of takes practice, and you kind of draw real quick and then lift up as you're nearing the end of the hair to give it kind of a tapered look. I'm just going to do some random hairs down here at the bottom. Okay. Gonna try a burnt sienna around the middle crease of the nose to try and make that look like it has some depth. I'm going to be real light with it because burnt siennas can be powerful. I think that worked pretty good. Okay. Maybe a little down here. That might fix this up here. Man, if you use raw umber in the wrong spot, it can be really yellowy if you don't want it to. But this paper can handle a lot of layers, so it's okay. Okay. I'm going to take the Caran d'Ache Luminance again. And see if I can blend a little bit. I'm not using heavy pressure. If you use too heavy pressure, then you won't be able to get any more layers on. So you can do it. So I'm using the Caran d'Ache Luminance, kind of blending my colors together and trying to retain that, the little white dot texture. If you do it with the lighter pressure, you can still add layers on top. Otherwise, if you are too hard with it, then you might smush the tooth of the paper. You won't be able to get anything else on top. Okay, I think I need more cinnamon. I can feel the Caran d'Ache under this pencil. Feels waxy. I'm gonna put some darker lines on top. This might be Payne's gray, not black. Define that one. I love Payne's gray around the noses of animals. So, blue gray. Mimicking these hairs. This is really the shadow in between the hairs, but I think it's getting ready to rain. I might have to go get Addie. So doing these, I don't know, the fur around the nose is helpful because then it helps you to see maybe what you're lacking. On the nose, I'm gonna put, I see like some dots around the bottom of the nose. I'm gonna do that with Payne's gray. Okay. Just kind of checking out the nose, seeing what I think. I've just got the warm gray one. I'm kind of using it to blend some colors. Same thing with the flesh. Okay, now I'm using more pressure with the wax pencil. So if you don't have a wax pencil, you can use just the Polychromos white. Sometimes I look up and my camera is focusing on my hand and not my drawing. I think that's pretty good for the nose. We can always touch it up later. Okay. Okay, so that's the cat's nose.